Hi, my name's Anna. Learning English changed my life. But trust me, it wasn't easy. When I came to America, I knew almost no English. I only knew hello and thank you in English. Everything else was hard. I remember my first day. I went to a coffee shop. I said, "Coffee, please." The person asked me something. I didn't understand a single word. I froze. I just smiled. I felt so embarrassed. I wanted to cry. But I told myself, "Anna, you can do this." Every day, I learned more. Some days were really hard, but I didn't give up. Today, I feel so proud. I can speak English. I talk to new people. I enjoy my life here, and you can too. My story might inspire you. Let me share it now. When I moved to America, I felt so scared. Everything was so new. The people, the places, everything. But the hardest part? I couldn't speak English. I needed English for everything. For buying food, for work, even for meeting new friends. But I didn't know enough. I felt like a small child. I had to start over. My first week was the worst. I went to the grocery store. I wanted to buy bread. I asked, "Where is bread?" The worker asked, "What kind?" I didn't know what to say. I just said, "Yes, bread." She looked confused. I felt so embarrassed, but I told myself, "Anna, it's okay. Learn from this." So I went home. I wrote down new words. Words like whole wheat and bagel. Next time I was ready. I learned something important. Don't be afraid to try. Even small steps help. And mistakes are part of learning. I know how it feels. Learning a new language is scary, but I want to help. Let's start this journey together. At first, everything was confusing. I didn't know simple things. How to ask for help. How to answer questions. Even small talk felt impossible. One big problem was listening. People spoke so fast. I couldn't understand their words. It all sounded like noise. I remember feeling frustrated. One day I needed directions. I was in a busy street. I stopped a kind-looking woman. I asked, "Where is the library?" She smiled and answered quickly. I caught only one word, "left," but what else did she say? I felt so nervous. I thanked her and walked, but I walked the wrong way. I got completely lost. It took me hours to find it. I felt so defeated that day. Another problem was speaking. I knew some English words, but putting them together? Hard. At work, it was harder. I worked in a small store. Customers asked me many questions. Where are the green apples? How much does this cost? Sometimes I didn't understand them. I felt embarrassed and stressed. I wanted to do better. Even at home, it was hard. I needed English for everything. Paying bills, calling the landlord, and even ordering pizza. One time I called to order. I said, "Pizza with cheese, please." They asked me a question. I didn't understand it. I just repeated, "Cheese pizza, please." When it arrived, it was wrong. I wanted to cry. I also felt lonely sometimes. Making friends was really difficult. I wanted to talk more, but how could I? I didn't know what to say. One day, a coworker invited me. She said, "Come to my party." I wanted to go badly, but I was so nervous. Would people talk to me? Would they understand me? I almost didn't go. At the party, I listened quietly. People laughed, shared funny stories. I didn't understand much. When someone asked me something, I just smiled and nodded. I felt so out of place. That night, I made a decision. I didn't want this anymore. I wanted to change things. I wanted to speak freely. I wanted to enjoy my life. I realized something important. If I wanted to improve, I had to work hard. I couldn't wait to feel ready. I needed to start now. Mistakes didn't matter anymore. I wrote down the lyrics. I sang along every morning. It was fun and helpful. Second, I started speaking. This part scared me most, but I knew it was important. At first, I spoke to myself. I talked about my day. Today is sunny and warm. I'm making pasta for lunch. Then, I tried speaking outside. At the grocery store, I practiced. I greeted the cashier saying, "Hi, how are you?" Small conversations helped my confidence. I also joined a speaking group. It was for English learners. Everyone there wanted to improve. We practiced every Saturday morning. We talked about easy topics. What's your favorite movie? What did you do yesterday? It felt safe and encouraging. Third, I started reading. I borrowed books from the library. Children's books were my first choice. They had short, simple sentences. I learned words like tree and happy. Slowly, I moved to harder books. Stories about daily life were helpful. They used words I needed. I also read signs everywhere. At the bus stop, for example, Route 5 goes downtown. At the store, buy one, get one. These small things added up. Fourth, I wrote things down. I kept a notebook with me. Whenever I learned a new word, I wrote it in my notebook. I wrote sentences using that word. For example, word, buy. Sentence, I want to buy apples. I also started journaling daily. I wrote about my feelings. Some days were tough and frustrating, but I didn't stop writing. Fifth, I made friends. Making friends helped so much. I met people at the group. We hung out after meetings. We went to coffee shops together. We practiced English while chatting. I also joined local events. Once, I attended a farmer's market. I asked vendors about their produce. What's the best apple here? They smiled and answered kindly. At work, I practiced too. I asked coworkers about their weekend. What did you do Saturday? They shared stories and I listened. It felt nice to connect more. Sixth, I embraced mistakes. At first, I was scared. I didn't want to sound wrong. But then, I realized something. Mistakes are part of learning. Everyone makes them at first. Once I said sheeps instead of sheep. A coworker laughed and corrected me. "Don't worry," she said kindly. "That's a common mistake." Instead of feeling bad, I smiled. Now I remember that rule. Another time, I misunderstood directions. Someone said, "Take the second right." I thought they meant turn right twice. I ended up lost again, but I laughed and learned. Daily habits changed everything. I practiced every single day. Even 10 minutes made a difference. While cooking, I listened to podcasts. While walking, I repeated phrases aloud. While relaxing, I watched English shows. I also set small goals. Each week, I focused on one skill. One week, I learned numbers. I practiced saying prices out loud. $10.50. The next week, I practiced greetings. Good morning, how are you? Every little effort added up. Day by day, I improved. Everything was coming together. I felt more confident daily. but I still wanted proof. Could I really use English? One day it happened. A tourist walked into the cafe. She looked lost and worried. I was working behind the counter. She came up to me. "Hi, do you speak English?" Her voice was soft but clear. I froze for a second. Then I smiled and said, "Yes, I do. How can I help?" She explained her situation quickly. "I'm looking for a museum. I think it's called City History." Her accent was different from mine, but I understood her perfectly. I took a deep breath. I pointed to the street outside. "You go straight 2 blocks. Then turn left at the park." I paused and added, "You will see the sign." She looked relieved and smiled. "Thank you so much." She said, "You're very kind to help." That moment felt amazing. I had spoken in English, and someone understood me clearly. I felt so proud inside, but it didn't stop there. The tourist stayed to chat. She ordered a cup of coffee. We talked for a few minutes. She told me about her trip. She was visiting from London. She asked me questions too. "Have you always lived here? How long have you studied English?" I answered her without hesitation. Our conversation flowed so naturally. It felt like talking to a friend. She even taught me something new. She explained a British phrase, cheeky, meaning playful or mischievous. I laughed and repeated it. When she left, she waved. "Thanks again, you were great." I waved back, feeling confident. Later that night, I reflected. That was my big moment. I had used everything I learned. Listening, speaking, even understanding accents. It all came together beautifully. It wasn't just about words. It was about connection too. Helping someone made it special. And it proved I could do it. That day changed everything for me. I no longer felt afraid. English became my tool for life. Looking back, I feel proud. Learning English wasn't always easy. There were moments of doubt. I sometimes felt like quitting. But I kept going anyway. I practiced a little daily. I spoke, listened, and repeated, even when I felt shy. Now, English feels natural. It's part of my life. I can talk to strangers. I can understand their words. I can even share stories. The cafe moment proved everything. I didn't just learn words. I gained confidence and connection. English opened doors for me. I still have more goals. I want to keep improving. Language learning never really ends. But now, I enjoy it. If I can do it, you can do it too. Start small but stay consistent. Mistakes are part of learning. Remember, every word matters. Each step brings you closer. Fluency isn't magic, it's practice. And the journey is worth it. Are you ready to start? Let's learn English together now. Watch more videos like this. Practice with every single lesson. Share this story with friends. Leave a comment down below. Tell me your English goals. Subscribe for more simple tips. Your journey begins today.